Snug Life is all about the conversations that you have in the pub.
We can talk about bullshit things, we can talk about serious things.
3 childhood friends spread across 3 different continents now.
Snug is a home away from home.
Hey everybody, apologise for the radio silence last week. We had ambitious plans to record an episode live from a snug in Dingle, Ireland, the home of the pub Snug. But as they say, between the jigs and the reels, what we ended up with was, let's just say, not fit for public consumption. On the bright side, we definitely successfully wet the podcast head, or christened it for those listeners outside Ireland. But we're back today and ready to dive into a new topic. So how are we, Sean, Tomo, what's going on?
Good. Recovered from last weekend. The pod that never was.
Great seeing you, lads. It was great fun. I flew all the way to Dingle for a podcast that didn't even matter.
I think, Tomo, you christened it the Flopcast.
The Flopcast. The one that never was. For the listener, we recorded in the Snug. We wanted to set up this kind of ambient setup that we could hear the room and the bar and, you know, getting the clink of glasses and pints. And it turned out that the barman was a very chatty, charismatic man.
Travelled.
Really piercing. And to be honest, the mic picked up more of him than it picked up of the 3 podcast lads in the corners. So yeah, we didn't want to put out the Kerry Bartman podcast it did last week. Failed experiment.
God, it was such a disappointment when you told us the news. Because we thought he was just going to be lovely background pub sound, but instead, that was his first podcast.
That man is operating on a frequency that can be heard across most rooms.
I think the pints kicked in much sooner than we realised in Dingle.
You were speaking a lot more Irish than I remembered, Kaz. Kaz really... the West snuggled Gary into its bosom and didn't let go.
Well, my trip home was a textbook lack of timekeeping. So made it to the sauna. It was perfect. You know, exactly what you need after a weekend like that. He's got like lovely music. It's really just melodic and calm. And then I'm like, man, what time is it? And then before you know it, we're like down in the car, 100 miles an hour around the corners, trying to get back to Farrafore in time. I arrived at the airport 10 minutes before takeoff. 10 minutes and still made the flight. I love little airports like that.
I was just about to say, shout out to the little airports around Ireland. They're just the best.
The stress of that, though. So I made my way back driving, and I haven't done that many really long hangover trips. So this was one of my first on my own, and the rain was absolutely belting. And I was coming on those Kerry roads at the start, and you've got some lad who has driven this road every day for the last 40 years, and he's up your arse in his big Jeep.
Oh, I fucking hate that.
Oh my God, and you feel like such a little city prick.
In your head, you're fucking Lewis Hamilton. You're taking the corners perfect, and you look in the rear view and he's just flashing you. Get the fuck out of the way.
Behind you. You're on 100, so you're going 100, or you're going up towards 80, 90, and you're on these back roads, and then you hit a puddle, and the guy is right behind you.
And your car's sideways.
The fucking wheels are sliding everywhere, and you're beside the fucking biggest cliff you've ever seen.
You can't actually do the speed limit on those country roads. Speed limit on some of them is 80 kilometers an hour. If you did 80, you'd be off the side of the ditch.
If you know the road is different, because they're rallying, they're brake hard, go hard. You know what I mean? Whereas we should not be driving at the regional speed limits.
The whole time I was thinking in my head, it's a speed limit, not a recommendation. I can go as slow as I want. Old man Daly up the front.
Did you notice on the Irish driver's licence we're automatically tractor qualified? It's got to be the only licence in the world. So you've got your licence for a car and a tractor all in one.
So you just reminded me, my brother-in-law grew up down in Waterford. His dad's a farmer and big hearty Waterford man. But I think he was about 9 or 10, and the dad was like, we're teaching you how to drive the tractor. So he brings him out, puts him in, doesn't tell him a word of instructions. Absolutely.
Oh, God.
Nothing to be done.
So
drive the tractor. And he's like, how do I drive? Drive the tractor. And he's like, he knows that this is like a coming of age moment, but he doesn't know how to do it. Just drive the tractor. He's just, okay. He's like crying, just trying to get the fucking levers going.
Brilliant. A lot of my cousins are rural Ireland, and they all have stories about learning how to drive at like 4 years old. I think it was the thing.
So I bought a new car maybe a year ago, and never had a car. You know the ones where your reverse gear is like top left, and it's like it's way off from yours.
And you have
Mine
to
were
push
always
it in.
Exactly. I didn't know about the push in, get it down bit. So I'm trying to reverse it out of the garage. And my brother-in-law and this manly mechanic are both like, they're both waving me out, you know, they're both trying to wave me out of the gap, and I'm like, just trying to, with the clutch and accelerator, just trying to get something to happen, just fucking poking around the dark. What do I do? Oh, top left. I'm like, I'm doing top left. It's like, no, pop it down.
Oh my God, man.
Fucking so emasculated, and just after haggling over the deal, and no, I won't give you a penny over this. I know cars. When you're driving as long as I am, you're not going to accept a price like that, you know.
Exactly. Oh man, that's too fucking good.
It is so funny though, isn't it? Like the difference of the spectrum across Ireland of like kids driving at 12, picking their dads up from the pub, and us driving at like 35, and we don't know how to take a fucking parking brake off. Sean turned up at the start of this episode with a little notepad. So Sean goes, I brought my notepad, and I wrote down 3 things, just random questions he wanted to ask us. So Sean, fire away there.
I also did not want this to be recorded, but the lads insisted. So just to preface
This is good.
This was not material for a podcast. It was just things in my head this morning making my first coffee.
Trust Sean to do the research and not want to actually use it.
I was making a coffee
productive,
and
Sean.
I was prepping the milk for the coffee. And then it just dawned on me about tea. I don't think many people put milk in tea, except for us.
Not many. I think we have such an abundance of milk.
I don't think other cultures put milk in the black tea. So,
But interestingly, I've converted my girlfriend, Turkish, would never have even considered milk in tea, and now she's getting more and more into Irish tea, as we call it. Every evening when I'm getting a few cookies out and sticking on a pot, she's first one at the table. So there's maybe something to it.
Yeah.
and
think
is
you're
Irish
right,
tea
Tomo.
just like, is it very much, it still comes from India or something, right? I've often thought about that too.
I've looked into this, right? So this was a shower thought I had, Sean. So we're on a similar bandwidth here. I've looked into this a long time ago, yeah. So all the leaves come from India, but then they're blended in certain locations to be a certain type of tea. So there's English breakfast, Irish breakfast, chai, Earl Grey, jasmine. They're all different blends of different leaves from different regions. Right, Tomo, I think you're onto something with the milk. I actually do think it might be something to do with the proximity of cow. Especially back in the day, like you wouldn't have had fridges. So I think it was like, what did we do with all this leftover milk?
When Gaz was saying the tea is blended when it gets to Ireland, I thought he was going to say it's blessed by the priest. And that's what makes the Barry's and Lyons tea. It's blessed Indian tea leaves.
So what's the second?
Second shower thought outside of the shower for
Yes.
Sunday the 24th of November was, how long is too long after you've defrosted chicken to leave it in the fridge? And I'm talking now chicken and sausages. When I took them out to defrost them, it was Thursday, and I assumed I was going to have them the next day. Friday came along, busy, ate out, did not eat them. They are in the fridge now. Is it too long to eat these defrosted chicken breast and sausages 3 days later?
Well, Reminded me, I seen a meme not so long ago that every couple is made up of two people. There's the person who thinks that everything is out of date and the person who thinks that out of date doesn't exist. And that's basically...
It's best before. It's best before. It's just a guideline. It's like the speed limit.
I always say best before doesn't mean bad after. Okay, so there's a whole other it's not at its best. It doesn't mean that it's at its worst immediately after that. So enjoy it. And when it comes to chicken, you got to be careful. So chicken is it's fucking uranium. It's an unstable element that no man really understands. It has its own rules, and you don't want to put the reactor core being your arse into nuclear meltdown. Through nefarious practices, there are guidelines, and they must be followed.
The thing about chicken for me is it's like driving. Like your mom's been cooking it since she was 6. So every time you cook a bit of it, she's like, yeah, it's grand. And you'd be like, no, but like it's pink. That's not pink. But then everyone's like, just don't eat pink chicken. But whenever you point someone to the pink in the chicken, everyone's like, that's not pink. Everyone has a different tolerance for fucking pink.
There's no tolerance for
a
pink
different
chicken.
pink level.
Well,
there's a fine line though.
Any space for pink? For chicken, there's not. It's a nuclear reactor, remember?
When you cut into that little succulent breast and you open it up, does your mind not play tricks and you see that little tinge of pink and you're like, is that pink or am I just making it up?
I don't worry about it too much these days. I've gotten over it. I'm just milling into it, but I do cook a lot of chicken. So, you can't be thinking about it every day, just pink or no
So
pink.
I should fuck this chicken in the bin. If
No,
Tomo doesn't
Sean,
eat this chicken, then I'm not
2
eating.
days. No, I'd have said a week.
No,
I'd have said a week.
A
out
week
of the
post-freezing.
freezer.
This has been frozen there for at least 2 months. Frozen.
Actually, no.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, that's why you freeze it.
I know, but now you're saying like it can stay a week defrosted.
Oh, a week defrosted. Oh, sorry. Whoa, hold on. A week? No, I wouldn't defrost something and eat it a week afterwards. Not with chicken, not with nuclear chicken.
There's another layer to it. I left it out on the counter, because I wanted it to defrost super quick.
That's fucked.
And then put it in the fridge. But I don't think it was fully defrosted by the time I put it in the fridge.
Well, then you basically just flushed all the water out of your reactor core. You're asking for your own problems here. You made your bed.
And what about the sausages?
Sausages are sound.
Sausages.
You can't get sick off sausages.
You could leave a sausage there for 6 or 7 years and it'd still be all right. Like sausages never do you wrong.
Really.
I agree.
Rashers, yes, but sausages can get that. Ugh.
But they're the same family.
Why are you
They're the
freezing
pig family.
sausages? They cost about 12p.
Because I just emptied the fridge when I last left and put everything in the freezer.
I would freeze the odd sausage as a man who makes dramatic diet changes. When I decide, no more sausages, Tomo. I don't want to throw them out because they're precious. They're precious sausages. So, I couldn't do that.
You eat them all. I'm going on a new diet, but before I do, I have to eat 47 sausages because I could never freeze them.
Yeah, so you would take the remainder.
Sausage
You take the remaining 36. You wrap them up, stick them in the freezer, and you hope that you forget about them until winter's over.
The third and final shower thought outside the shower, Sean.
So I looked at my abysmal Christmas decorations attempts, and now it's been 10 years since I've had a Christmas tree in my house. And I think the listeners are going to freak at that, right?
Say, if your nieces lived in London and were calling to your house, you'd be more inclined to put up a tree and some decorations.
I wouldn't be inclined. They'd be there, Gary. They would be there. You do it
That's
for
what
other
you're
people. I
missing.
think that's the whole thing. Is like you don't put up the Christmas tree for
true.
yourself. You put it up for the atmosphere in the house.
So are
with
we
people.
saying that Christmas isn't about you, it's about giving and about other people?
Hold on here.
I'd go in for that.
I feel uncomfortable. Are we talking about our feelings?
Hold on a second. This is what I signed up for.
Well, the thing is, right, when you live with the lads or you live alone, I mean, I'm not putting up a Christmas tree by myself and singing, Mariah Carey and dancing around in my underwear by myself. It's just not happening. So you end up like getting a few token Christmas decorations from my ma. She sent them over to me to try and get me into the Christmas spirit. And I tried to put them up, but some have broken apparently. So then I was just thinking, shit, it's still November. When is too early to put up Christmas decorations?
I think the 1st of December is the perfect time. 1st of December, game on. After that, then it's just how Christmassy you are, I think.
I'm one of these people that, to be honest, if I wasn't surrounded by people in my life who were into Christmas, I probably never would have put it up my entire life. And I think it's because when I want to dig into this,
Deep.
it's genuine. Like, and it's not
is
because
everything okay, Tomo?
it's not that I don't care about Christmas. I didn't love it as a kid. No, just explaining. So,
listeners, Tomo said he was agreeing with me on something, but do not put me on that bracket.
I'm not in this group.
I am not there. Just didn't want to be alone putting up a Christmas tree. That's all.
Don't get me wrong. I'd enjoy the odd Christmas. I'd never think of it. I'd never go and get the stuff and put it up and actually do it. And the reason being, and maybe it's going back if you want to get in real deep, as kids putting up the Christmas tree every single year, my mum and sister and me, but mainly them two, would have a fucking meltdown at each other. and there was always over the lights, how to untangle the lights from last year, the lights that were just always just fucked in a box every year. That's next year's problem. And then next year rolls in and we got to fucking do the untangling.
So
and
true.
the levels of stress.
Put them in the box.
Next year, see you later, lights, whatever.
The moral here is, for future generations, in order for them to love Christmas, put your lights and shit away properly.
Yeah, I think that's where it's coming from. And I wouldn't, it's also maybe points out another difference in the generations, because if I was my mom now, I'd be buying new set of lights every fucking year. I would cut the other ones up into several pieces as a message to fucking let the other ones know. Don't fuck them. 2 hours, isn't
Don't
it?
tangle.
And I'd go buy a new set. I'd go buy a new set every year, throw a new one away into a big landfill in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean you go. And I'm just going to keep buying new lights every fucking year and just keep sticking them up, keep throwing them out.
Speaking of Christmas, I was in Ireland last weekend and I had my first in-house mass. So, like, dial a priest. So my auntie, very religious, very well connected, she got this priest out to the house. They turned the kitchen table into an altar. Quick, like, 40-minute hit. We all got the bread. We got the wine, had the blood. And there's a room set aside at the side of the house for confession. So everybody does a confession before Mass. And the crack at that was brilliant. Anytime anybody was in there for more than like 30 seconds, you've been sinning. I'll set the stopwatch for this one and be in there fucking ages, this guy. It's fucking deadly.
I have never heard of this in my life. Did you know this was an option, Tomo?
No. And
I never knew
I'd
this.
be very connected to these type of circles through my mother.
You probably have to be high up in the
high
echelon.
ranking.
Yeah, higher ranking.
But Rita's pretty high ranking, man.
Nora's pretty high ranking too these days.
Nora's a big fish. My mom's actually told me about Nora.
Stop. Do you reckon they know my auntie?
Probably, man.
Probably, man. They're all connected. There's a whole syndicate
Tomo,
going on there.
if Gaz's fucking auntie can get it, our Maz can get it. I want Dial a Priest for Christmas.
Yeah.
God, that could be a Christmas gift to our Maz, Tomo. We could get them an in-house Mass.
It's kind of like ordering a stripper. Man, I got you something for Christmas for your birthday. Sit down with Jerry.
Father's me hall.
He comes out to the Sunday game music, yeah. Or he comes out to the in the unity of the Holy Spirit.
And you'd be telling your man, go on in the room there for another confession. Go on, I'll pay for another confession there. Just you and him. Go on.
Private confession. He'll let you take down the guard. He'll let you take down the visor. Okay, so there's a lot of masses in my house, guys. My house is more a church at this point. My family home.
But hang on, were you not just saying that you wanted a dial a priest, but here you're telling us that you've done
No,
the
sorry.
whole time?
Yeah, but hold on. But I didn't know about the network aspect of it. Sorry. I was more thinking that about the service of getting them. But my mom would be connected to a lot of priests that would have came out and said a little mass.
She's a
in the
maid
house.
woman. She's a maid
woman
in the church.
She's got the contacts. But anyway, let me explain. So I was extremely hungover and coming back from a festival. And basically, I get dropped off at the top of my road where I grew up. And I'm absolutely, I mean, like, you know, and you're just like, get me into bed. I think we were at Electric Picnic. It was like 3 days heavy. Anyway, I arrive in and I'm like, please God, just let there be no one in the house. You know, my house would always be, there were a lot of people coming and going. My ma would always have people around. So I'm walking up the top of the road and I'm going to turn at the top and I'm just like, please, just be nothing here. And I turn at the top and there's cars, the drive is packed, the whole curb is full, there's cars everywhere, and I'm going, oh no, what's going on?
You start sweating.
I put the key in the door, I open it, and I'm greeted by people in the hallway with their heads down and the sound of hymnal music. They're mid-mass, and I'm arriving in freaking a booze. So anyway, I just, how are you doing, sir? Yeah. Whisper, try to make as little noise as I could and scooted on up the stairs. Anyway, my mum comes up about half an hour later. Tomas, will you come down and meet Father, whoever it was? There was this priest over from Africa. She was dying for me to meet. And I'm like, Ma'am, I'm dying. Like, I'm just not in the mood for right now. She goes, come on, you'll come down and meet. No, I can't. So anyway, about 10 minutes later, she shouts from the bottom of the stairs, Tomas, do you want to come down? And I'm like, well, like a man in my 20s, I can't, now I'm like a teenager in the room if I don't go down. So I have to. So I'm up, I go down the stairs. Next thing I'm in the sitting room, the priest's hand is on my head and he's blessing me. Latin and all this shit. And I'm nearly burning because of the sin within over the weekend. And I had to sit there and take my blessing like a man.
It was an exorcism is what it was. It wasn't a blessing.
It was an exorcism.
God.
No one knew.
Oh, lads.
Did he smell the jar?
That's
off
heavy.
you?
He probably did. He probably knew rightly what was going on. He's like, look at this lad. He's been fucking out of his tits all weekend. But anyway.
So out of the three of us, I'm the only one to have not had a mass in the house. I feel a bit left out.
I thought Nora was in the upper echelons, but she hasn't even had a mass in her house.
Christmas gifts. Do you still do them? Like everyone does Christmas gifts, but do you put in the effort, like with your family and all, or is it?
I've gone up again.
The socks. I'm still getting like the socks and the tracksuit bottoms. I usually get them from.
You still get like socks and jocks and tracksuit bottoms from your folks?
From my ma,
yeah.
Every year.
My mum still makes a big effort. We fight her every year to make it less.
My mum makes an effort too.
My mum makes a serious effort. So growing up, my ma used to go to town for us. Like, and I mean, you'd wake up and come down, and there would be like she used to like separate it into different chairs, and they'd be full of shit. And you'd be like, how did you afford this? You're broke. But my ma used to also do this thing where so I only found this out as an older kid. For up until about maybe 10, 11, every single Christmas present every year was hidden in the boot of the car for months. And my mum would just direct me around the boot of the car, and being a stupid idiot, I'd never go near it. But literally everything was stashed right in front of your eyes in plain sight. No idea.
Tomo, you have the best. There's a WhatsApp group, or we have a WhatsApp group with the lads, and every year there's a tradition in the group that was started by you, Tomo, and it's the shittest Christmas present. And I love waking up to these messages because some of the lads get some crackers. But Tomo, you're usually on the podium, if not taking gold.
Last year, the year before, my mum got me because I work in like audio and video production stuff, so my mum got me a little bun bag for my cables, and each different pocket had a different label for which cable should go in there.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, but in practicality,
that's thoughtful.
Fucking absolutely useless. The guy at the shoot with the labeled bun bag, that guy doesn't get more work. But no, very thoughtful, but usually kind of useless. So many links Africa sets. I'm convinced that they stopped producing them. They're just in circulation from lads who just go, yeah, mate, you can give this to someone, and then it ends up going to your cousin, and then your auntie gets it next year because your cousin doesn't want it. She goes, I guess I'll send
That's
this
Quality
to
Street.
Claus.
Quality Street chocolates are definitely passed around. I hate Quality Street chocolates. You get that tin.
Man,
and
no
you
one's
just
eaten
think,
a Quality Street since the 70s.
Oh, no, you pass them
No,
on.
old people are. Honestly, old people love Quality Street.
I don't know if they love Quality Street or if they just want to end the circulation of the box.
All right. We're at an hour 10.
Is that her?
Yeah, I guess we should probably wrap it up with maybe anything.
Do you need a confession at home? Do you need a blessing in the house? Would you like an exorcism for the ghost living upstairs?
Feeling guilty after binging the entire box of cookies? Did you tell your boss you were working from home while you actually went to the beach? Or maybe you've got a few extra Hail Marys lying around. Whatever the sin, Dial a Priest is here to absolve you. Anytime, anywhere.
Sometimes in life, you want to step outside the box. The confession box.
Got sins to confess? Don't delay. Dial a Priest today.
Speak live with our hot, sexy priests waiting to talk to you.
Snug Life is brought to you by Dial a Priest. Priests in our name, masses our game.
Single celibate priests waiting to talk all day, 24 hours.
We'll put that sin in the bin. Dial a Priest is not an alternative to in-person confession. Some sins may require additional paperwork. Side effects may include excessive piety, moral clarity, and uncontrollable urges to donate to charity.